We say hello to our good friend JP Morosi for the Inside Corner. JP, we opened the hour talking about the New York Mets' defeat of the San Diego Padres last night. Give us the latest on Padres shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. as we await for his debut in 2022.
Robert, good morning. Right now, it is trending toward the direction of possibly seeing Tatis back in Major League game action before the end of the month. Here is the very latest. A.J. Cassavell of MLB.com reporting yesterday that Tatis was on the field at Petco, ramping up his activity on the defensive side of things. Now, remember, it's the left wrist, so his non-throwing wrist that was operated on. You see him there taking ground balls, throwing at a longer distance, doing some relay throws. That's all very encouraging. The new news is that, as AJ reported, is that Tatis said that he expects to have further imaging done on that wrist before the end of the week. And if that all checks out, Robert, we could see Tatis back in the batting cage taking live swings. That is the final hurdle from his perspective before you could start talking about, realistically, a minor league injury rehab assignment, which, again, as long as things continue on this trend, could perhaps start as early as the latter part of next week, which, again, would put him on time to be back on the field with the Padres before the end of the month. And as you point out, even with a loss there against the Mets, still things trending in the right direction for the Padres, who have the third best record in the National League.
Real quick, JP, when he does return, is outfield play still a possibility for him?
You know, it's an interesting question, Robert. I think it is a potentiality down the line, but I believe for now the Padres want to keep him in the infield as long as he's comfortable there. You can see where he's working out right now. It's probably the biggest indication. And the fact that he's spending this time on the infield should tell us that's where he expects and the Padres expect him to be. But when you consider Ha-Seong Kim, how he has played, you have Abrams as well, potentially in the pipeline. A lot of different options right now for the Padres, but I do believe that the plan A, let's say right now, is that Tatis comes back as a shortstop.
Let's talk about another shortstop. Carlos Correa has been on the COVID IL list for the Minnesota Twins. When is he going to come back?
Robert, looks like right now for the Twins, he should be back before the end of the week. Rocco Baldelli telling reporters, according to MLB.com yesterday, that it looks as though Correa could be back in the lineup quite soon, sort of clearing those last couple hurdles before he can get back in the lineup. And certainly for the Twins, an encouraging weekend against the Blue Jays, a huge series right now, a big homestand overall. Yankees and Rays. A bit of a test now for the Twins when you consider they're in first place right now in the AL Central. We're past the one-third mark of the season. And so I think this is one of those measuring stick type of weeks for the Minnesota Twins. And again, they hope to have Correa back, it could be, before the end of this homestand.
We know that the Mets are without DeGrom, they're without Scherzer, but they're also without Tyler McGill, JP, who was very good before he went on the shelf. What's the latest on his return?
He could return, Robert, within the next week, and that's great news for the New York Mets. Of course, last night, Carlos Carrasco, 10 strikeouts. Great signs there. Taijuan Walker's been very good. This is, when everybody is healthy, the deepest collection of starting pitchers in the major leagues, and Tyler McGill was the opening day starter in place of Jacob deGrom, then very much looked like Jacob deGrom early on this season. Of course, we've talked so much, and Tom Verducci has narrated this about just how unique his stride length is and how close he is to the plate when he delivers the ball. With this biceps tendonitis, Robert, it does appear that within the next week, we could see McGill starting again in the major leagues. And when you consider where deGrom's recovery is, where Scherzer's recovery is as well, the Mets rotation is about to get even better, and I cannot wait to see them up close there in our showcase game tomorrow night with Chris Bassett on the mound at Petco Park.
Yeah, they're definitely more than holding their own without their two big aces, Scherzer and DeGrom. Good stuff as always, JP. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Robert. All the best.